And the current and the rent at move out was what?
27.58.
Erica?
Yes, I'm here.
20. How much was the old rent? I mean, how much was the rent when they moved out?
27.58.
27.58. So 5% of 25.95 is 27.24.75. 25.95 times 5% is 27.24.75. How do we get to 27.58?
So the increase letter stated that we gave them, it was a, let's see, did we give them how much?
The increase letter says 27.58.
No, the increase letter says their base rent was going to go from the original amount I told you, 25, that is 25.95, up to the increase letter says it goes up to 27.24.75 plus the 283 SCEP fee, which comes to 27.57.58.
27.27.58. I'm misunderstanding what you're saying. Okay, so the rent is 27.27 and 58 cents.
Correct.
I was writing down 27.58. Got it. All right. Well, I'll get in touch with Figure 8, and when do you think it'll be market ready?
I expect it to be ready again. I am awaiting Carlo to confirm what work he's going to complete. My work services I've requested are expected to be completed by the 2nd. That's next Tuesday, I believe. Oh, I'm sorry, that's next Thursday. So early April, the 6th, I'll say April 6th, just to take a couple days.
Okay. I would recommend trying to get Carlo in there before the apartment is cleaned.
Okay, I've copied him on the email and let him know. So, you know, he floats to the other properties, and but I will go ahead and let him know about that, what you're suggesting.
Well, the logic there, of course, is that he's the last one in, and then they clean it, and then the apartment is perfect.
Right. Exactly.
If he goes in after cleaning, then there's footprints on the carpet.
I agree. I've given him the schedule, so my plan is that he would work with that schedule that's available and get his work done before the 2nd.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
No problem.
That's it for me.
Okay. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
He's monitoring. That is 10:23 a.m. The black helicopter. This is psychological torture. This is criminal monitoring, state surveillance in the workplace. Also, his voice on the phone is audible activity. You also know that the entity uses the phone, causing it to ring with simultaneity to what I'm doing in the office. It is significant with regard to the use of its voice as a means of audible activity. And it is also significant, symbolic for these demons who express their hostility toward me while they are on the phone. And then you'll have the demons that fly over me in helicopter. This is a part of that intent to torment and terrorize and threaten, and do so, again, the passive aggressive communication while on the audible activity, which is monitoring. Oh, good morning. You're doing such a great job, Erica, while the entity is flying over you by helicopter. All right. This is the cowardice of the demon possessed that are engaging in the state system. All of the specific environment is here. That is speaker companies documented engaging. I want to be clear, the criminal elements of monitoring, and also federal stalking. Hi, smart janitorials, group stalking, irrelevant position in the laundry room. They're doing the same exact thing that the people of the state that live at the venue doing. They're maintaining criminal presence in the path while the entity is flying over in relevant position in a helicopter, which is amplified audible activity in the specific environment, which you already know the entity is rising and setting the sun here. The light source remains here, and you also know that engineered light remains 24/7 in different levels of concentration. You're looking at what is impossible light I just showed you in the previous video that was present underneath the table, and let me be clear, it's still there. That's impossible light activity. Okay, the entity is maintaining engineered light on an ongoing basis. Let me turn off the light so that you can be sure that's impossible light activity. It's not based on the lamp that I have on in this office. Okay, they're group stalking 24/7. He's going to federal prison because that's also documented impunity and very high level of malice. Okay, what's so disgusting about this system, okay? The government is placing you under surveillance and it's doing it in concert with the people. This is the use of a company. And this is the mask that the government is wearing. And the people are in the shoes of the state. You would never suspect it, okay? In the natural, you can never even establish it. Do you understand? How are you making the connection in the natural with regard to where you work and the government that you are being monitored by? But for the pattern of conduct, understand that, okay? SCI is the state of California. That's the system that's underway through the workplace. They're maintaining the elements of monitoring through the very people that are working at the company, at the business. The business happens to be online. The entity is also engaged in federal stalking in violation of Title 18. And let me also tell you about the absurdity of this. You're talking about your business. We're talking on the phone. This is supposedly company business. All of the people of the state know what's going on with regard to the conversation. They know what's going on with what they give me responsibility of, which is also speaking to what you're actually given control over, because they're mindful of the fact that so if they don't want specific things exposed to the public about their company, then they won't give that responsibility to the target individual, because everything that has to do with me, everything and everyone that I'm talking to, everything that's on the internet, everything that's a matter of a conversation, it's a matter of public information, because they're all monitoring. The people of the state that live here, they know what's going on in email. They know when I send out a service request. They know when I call West Coast Chief Repair for their toilet that is, or whatever appliance in their apartment that's not working. They know when I'm making that call. They know when the work order is requested. And then those psychopaths will come. Oh, do you know what time they're coming to fix my refrigerator? Did you put in a work order? And they already know they're monitoring. They're demons and they're third parties in the specific environment. That's what ties it all together. There is no sun that's going to be over Starbucks while it's remaining at Alvarado Gardens as a matter of documentation. Satan can cover it up all at once. Satan already showed its true colors. Before Satan anticipated what was going to happen, Satan was rising that sun and setting that sun day after day after day after day. It's already captured. So when you're looking at the light source that looks concealed, engineer light is already present. You already know it's always present. And in addition to that, the demon possessed, the people of the state and the state are maintaining the specific environment, stalking in your path with methods of light. And in addition to that, you're learning what is malice. A demon possessed entity that's monitoring your documentation on the venue of the internet is also aware of the fact that you're exposing the fact that it's not a natural environment, and then engaging in what is futile, because you can cover up your light source, but by virtue of the evidence, because it's the natural environment, that presupposes that suddenly the natural environment changes and that what happens yesterday is erased and we're starting over. No, that's not how it works. You're capturing the phenomenon one time, and that's supposed to be the natural environment. And so you're bound to that. You're bound to it. It never should have happened one time. Never is the sun rising and setting through the windows of one apartment, the same address. And when you did not go anywhere, I didn't go anywhere. I've been documenting that for months. And I've been documenting that for years, because what's also being captured is the prosecution of the San Bernardino Superior Court. That's the state of California. All right. The California Supreme Court. That's the state of California. The California Appellate Court. That's the state of California, engaging in what is criminal, evasion of service of process, while this entity that's placing me under surveillance evaded service of process. And who refused to provide service of process to the Attorney General? Oh, the very demons of the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department, who you see group stalking under the light source at the facilitating venue of 2301 South Euclid Avenue, Economy Inn. They're group stalking, light source over my hotel room at 10:48 in the morning, where the entity's keeping the sun here, where LAPD's group stalking and the people that say they're group stalking. That's how you're prosecuting a government. But you have them group stalking, and then they're engaging in what is criminal obstruction of justice, the criminal deprivation of your rights in the courts. Evading service of process is that's no civil matter under the P.O.C. That's a criminal matter. That's the prosecution of the state, seeking to obstruct justice in all the ways in which you're learning the entity does this. Okay, that's a prosecution of the San Bernardino Superior Court, where, by the way, the entity's keeping a light source over my head, stalking in helicopter, including while I'm on the phone with third-party group stalker Don NAUGLE, who was sealing his fate. He's acting on behalf of an entity. Speaker Companies represents the entity, yes. But in federal court, the evidence is going against Don NAUGLE, and he's going to federal prison, engaging in a pattern of ongoing criminal monitoring, and the entity is going to learn you shouldn't even be caught once engaging in the P.O.C. But when you are engaging in a pattern, meaning I've documented you more than once, that's documented impunity. And that's an automatic enhancement. In addition to that, you have obstruction of justice. And while you're monitoring on the venue of the internet in violation of Title 18, 22618, subsections 1 and 2, meaning you're a whole stalker and a demon-possessed one who knows that I'm documenting you, enforcing my rights, and then you engage in this demonic ambush to try to obstruct justice and stop me from uploading it, and then you call on the work phone, and under the guise of engaging in the business of a third-party company as a third-party group stalker, and the entity is flying over me by helicopter, engaging in that which is psychologically torturing, tormenting, emotionally distressing, done with the intent to keep you under surveillance while they're also engaging in state surveillance physically and on the venue of the internet. That's going against Don Naugle. He's going to federal prison. All of them that work for speaker companies, that's exactly what I'm stating here, and you're understanding how that works and what it looks like and why. They're going to federal prison. Speaker companies is a third party, the employer of the target individual. Where the pattern of conduct is underway, wherever the target individual works, they're all going to federal prison. Wherever the targeted individual lives, they're all going to federal prison. All of them. All right, it is currently 10:33 a.m. and this is documentation of what is federal group stalking and monitoring that is occurring in the workplace. It's workplace terrorism, harassment, and sexual violence by an entity engaged in the pattern of conduct. This is all happening on the watch of Todd Speaker. Our Todd Speaker is a third-party group stalker who was also engaged in group stalking when I went to the corporate office in Palo Alto. He was engaged in the monitoring system in relevant position. He's also engaged in it on the venue of the internet, and it's also speaking to what he's civilly and criminally liable for because his company and his real property are both criminal means of facilitation by the state that's practicing this system, threatening the life of an American citizen, your liberty rights, creating what is an immeasurable amount of psychological harm while they're engaging in the P.O.C, which is inherently designed to psychologically torture the target individual. That's all on his watch, and I'm going to drain the pockets of speaker companies is necessarily not going to survive. And that's exactly what justice should result in because, and I want to be clear, there are giants like Amazon who may very well survive, but let me be clear, there are multiple ways to get justice. That reputation won't survive. The reality of what they're doing and the face that they present to the public, people are going to see them for the truth. That's what they don't want you to know. And that will have a reverberating impact that will also reach their pockets. There is nobody that is too big. Nobody. Okay? It is currently 10:35 a.m. and this is P.O.C.